Hello everyone and welcome back to the AFL Fantasy Fanatics YouTube channel. Wednesday is here, and as we always do on a Wednesday, we have trade talk for you guys ahead of round 7. And at this stage, I guess the majority of people, we don't have bullets, so we can actually maybe make some upgrades. Obviously, we still have, just over 24 hours till final teams have for the Thursday game, so who knows what carnage may hit us at some point. But at the moment, hopefully we can get a couple of rookies out and maybe go one down, one up. An upgrade season, on that note, is probably here. So we'll go through all of the top, well, obviously the top most trading players of the week and the most trade out players. But as you can see here, pretty evenly spread. No one's quite over 10k trade-ins yet. So it'll be interesting to see where people are going with their trades this week. But before we do, thought I'd see you guys a challenge. I've done it a few times at the end of the videos, but I thought I'd say, so I had a look at our trade talk, and a couple weeks ago, I forgot to mention, we got 182 likes, which is obviously massive, right? We one of the most liked videos of the year, but 200 is the challenge I want to get. I want to see if we can get the most likes on a trade talk video so far this year. So 182 is what we got a couple weeks ago. Let's see if we can hit 200 on this video and beat that 182. So if you are tuning in, just one simple click the like, and it does help out the channel a whole bunch. So if you can do that for us, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But without further ado, let's get into the most trading players of the week. And then obviously we'll talk about the most trade out. We'll talk about the most popular trades of the week, my top 5 targets, and then my trades, what I'm looking at doing. So Angus Anderson, most trading player of the week, is just under 10,000 for obviously this. Bloody hell, unbelievable. Couldn't even get the words out. He's nearly trading by 10,000 coaches this week. We finally got there. But Angus Anderson, it's back-to-back weeks now. That's what I was really trying to go for. Back-to-back weeks, he's the most traded in player. And I think he's still a good option, right? He's still got a break even of minus 30. He's projected if he scores, 66, goes up another 80k. I just think it's still a valuable player to get in, right? So if he goes, I'm assuming he goes a couple of 60s, he probably goes up towards maybe 500k, right? Like, I thought they used to show... I think we talked about this the other day. I thought there was a way you could see like what his price would reject. Maybe it's only on the app, which is, I always prefer to use the app over desktop anyway. Obviously, I just use desktop for recording the videos and stuff, right? But I just want to see, right? So if he's projected to go back-to-back 60s, he will hit what? He'll hit 500k, won't he? So that's why I still think he's a valuable player, because he's 365 now. That means he made 135k likely in 2 weeks. And we want our rookies to make 150 plus K. I think he makes that in 3 weeks. So, which is what you want, right? So here you go. So if he goes 66, 65, 64 in his next 3 games, he'll make 80K, 63, 44K. So he'll make, you're looking at 180, 190K over 3 weeks if he goes 60s the next 3 weeks. So I think it's very doable. Good matchup against the Bombers this week. There's a chance he goes more than the 60 odd that it's 60 projected this week. Could even go towards 80 in a good matchup. I think you don't want to jump on him next week because he'll be in the 400s. So this is probably the last week to really get that good cash here. If you jumped on last week, fantastic. You got that 80k made last week. Hopefully you get a lot more money that he makes this week. So I still like the play. Still think he's a rookie if you can get there and afford to the other trades on the other end. I still like going Angus Anderson this week. So the number 2 most trading player of the week, probably a surprising one for me. I didn't expect him to be the most trading premium of the week, but it is Chris Petrarca. So 8,800 coaches are jumping on him. Probably a lot to do with, I guess, the fact that Brian Myers being out, probably a lot jumping off him. Dev Rob, Buderick, if people coaches held them. So you're probably going to Petrarca, right? So I like the play just because you know what you're going to get, right? He's a top 6 forward. You're probably not paying overs for him, but you're probably not getting him at much value. He's priced at 97, so you're getting what you pay for. I think he's around sort of that average. Like he doesn't put up many of those like 110, 120 plus scores. And he obviously did early in the season against Geelong. I think it was an opening round where he went was it 121? I think he did, but obviously he doesn't have a huge amount of like those big ceiling type scores. I think he'll just be a safe, solid. You know what you're going to get, top 6 forward. I do like the play. I think he's is fairly priced. So you're not getting too much value, but I like the play just because of the certainty of locking in a top 6 forward. So I don't mind the Petrarca play. The run for the next couple of weeks isn't great. Like Hawthorn and GWS over the next 2. Saints, Port, North Melbourne after that's not too bad. But the next couple, wouldn't say easy. But we did see Butters go 120 last week. So maybe Petrarca does go well against Hawthorn this week. Pat Rechko, number 3 on the list, so 6,300 coaches jumping on him. For those that jumped on Anderson last week, he's probably the next rookie I'd go for. -5 break even. 65 last week was not bad. He looked all right. I think his job security moving forward will be pretty good just because of the amount of injuries that Richmond have got at the moment. And we saw in the preseason that I thought he was going to play round 1, and he didn't get a gig. So, but obviously round 6, he looked good, like 87% tonk's great. Score was solid. Break evens there is good as well. So I like it. If you don't have Anderson, I'd probably go there instead. I'd pay the 100k, get him this week, get Rechko next week. So that's pretty hard to play. But if you've already got Anderson, I think Rechko's the next guy. So I do like the play as a rookie downgrade if you've already got Anderson. Nasai Wayne-Mello, 4th on list, 4,400 coach jumping on. One of my probably favourite premium plays this week. The defender mid flexibility for 1 is very, very valuable. A lot of the defenders, or at least I've got, are all straight defenders. So having a defender mid is quite handy. Like I've got Whitfield, Roberts, Houston, McKercher, all straight defenders. I've also got Jakes, Lindsay, and their defenders. So I've actually got Grill, Sarong, Farrow, sort of a few. I've got 2 in the midfield, 1 defence at the moment. So just the defender mid flexibility is great. But it's not only that. Obviously, we've got Naz under $1 million, right? He's still very cheap. West Coast this week, great matchup, and he's got good matchups to come, like West Coast, Carlton, Gold Coast, Richmond, Freo. Really good run. Even Hawthorn, they're not really tagging as much. So I think they tried tagging him last time, like Sandwich, so they tried players. Maybe they get a better hold of him this time, but that's round 12. We're looking a fair bit in the future, right? The upcoming at least month to 5 weeks is pretty good for Naz, and he also got below 90 years last month. So. Okay, he only hit the 1 big score against Port Adelaide, but he's still getting up solid scores, copped a lot of attention in that Crows game. I think he's going to be a good moving forward. So, again, top 6 defender. We're getting him under $1 million, uber premium. You want to jump on these guys when they're value. He's priced about 100. I think he's a 105 plus, and yeah, I think he's a very, very good pick. So I do really, really like the Naz play for those that haven't got. He's dropped 166k for the season as well. The forward I'd probably it's tough who I'd go between him and Petrarca, but Cozzy Pickett is 5th most trading player, 3,400 coaches jumping on. Instant reward this week against Richmond. I think he's in for a big game against the Tigers. Sydney next week's a bit scary because I think Jordan will go to him in that game because obviously Cozzy does play pretty much as that just pure midfield role. Brisbane didn't tag him last week. It was just Dunkley. I think I saw Answorth when he sort of was in the forward 50 at times. I saw Berry went before he got injured was on Cozzy at times. It was like a team tag. They were all aware where Cozzy was. They weren't allowing him to get the wraparound handballs, the easy ball. And he actually got burnt a few times as well, I thought, by teammates more often than what he normally does. Cozzy's one of those players, normally when he calls for it, you give him the ball. But having West Coast after the Sydney game, I think is good. 2 of the next 3 are really good matchups. And who knows, maybe Jordan doesn't. Maybe they don't do a hard tag. I think they will, but maybe they don't. Maybe because Cozzy can go forward, maybe they use a different matchup. But I do think Jordan will go to him at least to start. So that would just be wary. But as a forward, you're probably going to get a low score every now and again anyway, because the other games like Hawthorn haven't been tagging much. Bulldogs, Giants could. It's a fairly nice run coming up, particularly 2 of the next 3 are really good. So I like the Cozzy play as a forward, and I think I may go just out of Petrarca just with the 2 of the next 3 being really good, but I don't mind both. I do like both as picks. Milan Murdoch, interesting, is still in the top trade targets. So number 6 for the week. 3,000 coaches jumping on him. The fact he's got a minus 24 break even, I think I said last week was too late. If you didn't get him, it may not be too late, but I don't love it as much as what I have, right? He's been great, and I think he's going to be a really good on-field rookie to have, and he's probably safe to put on there. Just because he's tackling, it creates a high floor. 95, 88, and 86. 86 was from limited game time. I think that does bump back up to 75% or around that mark. Saints this week's a decent matchup. Richmond, Melbourne's a really good next 3. Collingwood in a few weeks' time. I think he's a guy that will probably play, and then Essence. It's actually a really nice run up until they're buying round 15. Probably someone that we're going to hold and play on field right up until that buy and then probably trade at that point. I think because his break-in's minus 24, you can still do it. I just don't love that you've probably traded him out and then you've lost 250. He's made 250k already. So he's made a lot of money, but if he goes, 63, makes another 70k. So he's probably going to make at least another 120k over the next few weeks and could make more. Wouldn't shock me if he got up to high 600s, low 700s in terms of price if he keeps going at what he's doing. So I don't mind it. I don't love paying nearly 500k for rookie, but it could be a place. Like people pay, I guess the way you look at it, people paid it for Farrow a couple weeks ago, right? And did it. So why can't you do Murdoch? So you can definitely do it. Nick Newman, next on this. So he is the seventh most trading player of the week. So 2,700 coach jumping on him. I do like Newman play, and I'll talk about my trading plans after, but he's currently in the mix for me. Breaking into 57. Scored a 101 last week, and people go, oh, he's on 80 at half-time, and he didn't end up, and he only had, 21 points second half. They're probably more on the glass half empty. I'm more glass half full. People didn't have him, are probably lucky he didn't go bigger. I think the game did change a bit in that second half as well. It was a bit quicker. It wasn't as sort of calm, controlling a bit of that more possession, which I think they'll try and do, at least moving forward. And like Newman's such a good ball user coming out of defence. They look for him at every opportunity. His game time's been solid. I just wonder if that could take a slight uptick into the 80s? Maybe he's had a few weeks back. Does that go a little bit higher as well? He's taking a fair few kick-ins as well. 92 against North Melbourne, who have been tough for halfbacks. The Crows in the wet with a 70. Tough matchup, only one mark. That probably explaining why. And then Collingwood, obviously great matchup, and he was going really well, just slowed down a considerable amount. 24 touches. I think he'll start getting mid to high 20s a fair bit more, and I think there'll be a few more of these tons coming up. And next two, Freo, St Kilda, two great matchups. Brisbane's hard, but then the Bulldogs is also really good, right? So 3 of the next 4 really good matchups. Good run coming up. I do like the play of Nick Newman, and someone I am definitely looking at this week, because we know I think he's a 90-plus averaging player and he's priced below 80. So I think there's at least 10 points of upside. He could average 95 to 100 and be a guy that's not too far away from the top sort of 6 to 8 defenders, which I think could very, very much happen. It's just the question would be is with Carlton as a team, can they facilitate a guy to score that many points in the back line? Because even Walsh hasn't hit those ceilings, and he's played fairly well. So I guess we'll see. But I like the Newman play. Now, Cam Zurhaar, 8th most trading player. Interesting play, this one. So 2,700 coaches as well jumping on him. 532k, break even at 23. Scored really well last week with the 113. He's so, this is a play. It reminds me a little bit of the Ryan Marrick play of last year, where it goes into defence, a bit of a role shift, and it could realistically stay like this. And he could score these 80s moving forward. I don't think he's going to score 113 every week. I think it was just such a good matchup. The one thing that does worry me about this play, and I'm probably lucky that I've got a couple other targets I want more than Zurhaar this week, so I'm not in a position I'm not taking the risk this week. My worry with Zurhaar is that North Melbourne have shown over the start of the season that they are not afraid to throw the magnets around quarter to quarter, not even game to game, quarter to quarter. Like Colby's role has been switched around pretty much every second week, or even every quarter pretty much. Caleb Daniel, I remember, got flicked into the forward line against the Eagles. I thought he played quite well, but he actually has played all right last couple of weeks, even in the defence. There's guys been thrown around everywhere. So I just worry that North Melbourne are still throwing things around. And the run isn't great. Like Giants, Geelong, Sydney in the next 3 is not good. And even Adelaide for defenders isn't good. However, 532k is cheap. And a lot of people, it'll be, say, like you can do maybe little rookie shuffle, and then it's maybe like a Lombard or a Gallup up to Zurhaar, which I like because you're getting cash gen and you're getting points in the short term on field. I don't normally love these short-term plays. I think if this was 3 weeks ago, I would have liked it a lot more, because I think now we're into upgrade season. We're trying to get the rookies off field and trying to get guys we can keep right until the buys. But it could be a guy, round 12 buy, you hold for, how many weeks is that? What is it? What do you got? 2, 4, 5 weeks, maybe 5-week play. Makes maybe 100k, 150k, and you trade him out in his buy. And then you go bring in a forward that you haven't been able to get a hold of, or maybe you can sort of see what the forwards are doing, then you jump on the guy you want to get onto. So I don't mind the Zurhaar play at all. I think it's a decent play, and would be something I'd be considering, if not for maybe a couple of other guys I'm looking at a bit more this week. What are we up to? So what do you got? So 2, 4, 6, 8. I always like just going to the top 10. Baz, number 9, is on the list. So, geez, 1.251 million. It is so expensive. I think he's priced near 130. Like, it's so expensive. But he's averaging, what's he averaging for the year? Like, he's averaging 130, isn't he? Yeah, well, 127.7. Like, he's doing what the Tom Mitchells, the Dane Swans, Tom Rockcliffs, and guys like that have done, where they average just so high for a big period, right? 5 games is a pretty decent stretch, but we have seen guys do that, and they might have an off game or two here or there, but Baz is just looking insane. I think Holmes is still the number one tag guy there. He's racking up marks and tackles. He's also kicking the odd goal here or there. Pretty nice run. Port, North Melbourne, Collingwood, the next 3. I just don't know if I can pay 1.251 million. I just don't know. If you've got a team value that's soaring, it's like 23.5 million, looking really good. I think you could go there if you think you can go at 125 moving forward. I just wonder, like, we haven't seen it for so long, a guy that goes at 120 plus. Can he keep it up? And he could. If anyone can, it probably could be Baz, because he's not going to get tags. I think Holmes is still the guy. And he just game suits fantasy. Like, the transition style that we've moved into, the rule changes, the fact that he fills all the stat lines, like it, and he certainly looked like he could do it before. Like last year, he looked like periods he probably had a couple of injuries that probably stalled that a bit. When he was at the Dogs the first half of the year that year, where he's averaging well over 115 and playing over 90% TOG. Like what's his TOG like? His TOG's looking really healthy, well over 80%. So I'm not going to talk you out of going for Baz. I just couldn't recommend paying 1.251 million for a player when we've got some pretty good options, 200k cheaper or even more. Like Naz is 250k cheaper. I'd be going Naz personally, but Baz is pretty good. So I'll leave it there. Charlie Edwards, 10th most trading player, 2,600 coaches. I thought he was pretty good. I thought he showed some good signs as a Crows fan watching him. I hope that he stays in the team. I'm just not sure he will, depending on when Dawson's back. Obviously, we just don't know, and I guess we'll just find out whenever he does come back. Curtin, Sandford this week, probably back in for the showdown next week. So there are a couple of guys that will come back in. So you just wonder, does that mean that Charlie would just get squeezed out? But I'd probably want to watch one more week. He's the sort of guy I'd rather see one more week and see him get named again. And say Dawson doesn't play this week, but maybe plays next week, who knows? And then Curtin comes back in. If those two were to come back in and Edwards is still there, I'd be a lot more confident of his job security. I just worry with a few guys coming back that he might not be there. So I'd rather Rechko. I would rather Angus Anderson. He's probably third on the list. So you could look there. But I just probably have a few other options I'm looking at. A few other names here we'll just chat about. So Rowan Marshall. If TDK was out for more, I would have considered it. I just think with the fact that TDK's listed as a test, just makes it a bit risky. The one thing I do want to watch for, though, is that the role did change. It's not like TDK was injured, so that was it. The first quarter, he was actually lining up on a wing a fair bit, and then he would actually be the ruck around the ground, and TDK would be the ruck at just CBAs and would go forward. I wonder if that's what they're going to do, because I think Marshall is a better around-the-ground ruckman, and his TOG was quite low the previous 2 weeks. Was he playing with something maybe? Like maybe a bit of a niggle? But now back up to 88%. And he looked good. Like he was impactful on the game. So I just wonder, is that what they're going to do moving forward? St Kilda, is it going to be more TDK CBAs and maybe forward 50, and then Marshall sort of back half of the ground and then around the ground? I just sort of wonder if that's the thing. So to watch, I think his break even 76. We can watch this week. I think it's better to watch. Hopefully TDK plays and we see what that role's going to be. And maybe we launch into TDK the week after, because it's a great matchup this week. But he's still got good matchups to come, right? Carlton, Pitney not there this week. Maybe could be back next week. Who knows? Gold Coast, that could be a matchup where Witts gets managed and it's Moyle. But it could, even if Witts has shown he can give up some scores this year, and then a ruckless Richmond or Nankless Richmond, could be some really good matchups to come from Marshall if he's got more of a share of the ruck. And as a forward, could be an option to look at. So I think risky coaches, you could go there this week, because he may, if TDK doesn't play, you could get a big pop score. I just worry with the scores to start the year. If we get some more of these and you've paid up for a guy in the 70s and you get 60s, that would just be my worry. But he's a guy that could easily average 90 plus for the rest of the year. He's averaged over 110 multiple times. So yeah, just one to keep an eye on for me. Archie Roberts, is it too late? Priced at near 104, around that area. Like you could still go there. I think the role would, like, there could have been a bigger score. I think Merritt was probably the big reason why his score was a bit lower in the end, just because Merritt went to defence when Ridley went down, stole a fair few kick-ins, I'll say, as an Archie Roberts owner who stole them. But he's going really well. The role hasn't changed. He's still looking good, and it's a dream matchup this week against Collingwood at the G, big stage. I think he could be in for an absolute monster score here. And I don't think it's too late, but you've certainly lost that value that he probably was a fortnight ago, even last week, because obviously went up nearly 70k this week. So I don't think it's too late, but you are paying a bit more close to fairer price. I think he's about a 105 sort of player, so you're not really getting too much value. But if you think he's going to go 105 plus the rest of the year, I think you can still definitely go there. Horn Francis McInerney are two forwards you could definitely look at, along with Murphy Reid, who's still cheap. Like, he's just getting it done. Like, watching Murphy Reid, I think he's a very, very good player, but I didn't think he was going to be this good for fantasy. And he hasn't shot the lights out by any means, right, in terms of like what he's priced at now. I think he's about an 80. But if you started with him, you would be stoked. He's been a knockout pick, priced in the 50s, averaging over 80. Like, this is one of the ones that if you've got him, you're probably ranked pretty high. But now it's like you're jumping on him now to be a guy that's going to average in the mid to high 80s. Can he do it? I think he can. I probably have him closer to 80. The run, Carlton's good. Doggies, Hawthorn aren't great. Eston St Kilda's pretty good. So 3 of the next 5 is decent. I think you can go there. If you don't want to pay up for like the Cozzies and the Petrarcas and even the Horn Francis McInerney's, I think Murphy Reid's still a solid enough pick, but you have lost a bit of that value for sure. And then Sully Roby, just one touch on him just quickly as well. He's probably my pick of the forward rookies if you're looking to downgrade a Gallup, or this is probably a small upgrade, right? Or trade out a Lombard or cash out of Dev Rob. Sully Roby's probably the pick. I wouldn't forego an Angus Anderson to get him. If it was between him and Rechko, you could go Sully Roby if it was to cash out the forward rookie to get him in. I think his job security is fairly solid. Break-even's now at 9. So, yeah, I don't mind the Sully Roby pick as a forward rookie. If it was to pick between Rechko and Roby, it wouldn't matter who you're trading out. I'd be going Rechko. But if you need a forward to cash out of those forward rookies, I think Sully Roby could be a solid pick. Let's go to the most traded out. A few of these are pretty self-explanatory because obviously Dev Rob, Myers, Buderick, all injured. Obviously, Dev Rob and Buderick still injured from last week. Dev Rob obviously out for the year. If you need the loop, I still don't mind hanging on to him as a mid-forward. Plays a lot of the late games, but to cash out of him, it's definitely more than happy to go. Grind Myers, I'll be trading. We just don't know the timeline, right? They said they're going to recess in a couple of weeks. I think he's got to go. Just don't know when he's going to come back. Windsor has to go as well. Just he's bleeding cash now. Besides that 50-point quarter he had against Carlton, he just hasn't got it done. Like, it's just not been the pick that you would have wanted. I know he's got Richmond this week. I just wouldn't, but like, I feel like we did this a few weeks ago. He's got Essendon. Let's keep him. And he dropped the balls at a 45. Like, just, yeah, I think he's got to go. He's just a problem, and I'd be fixing him up. Buderick as well. He's still a few weeks away. He's still got to break in at 63. Like, it's high enough that I'll be trading anyway. I don't think he's got a huge amount more cash to make. So Buderick can go. Jagger, I think it is time to start cashing out some of these guys. So I think Jagger can go. Break-evens up to 55. I think Cooper Lord probably comes back in. I think he had a pretty big game in the VFL on the weekend. George Hewitt, who knows if he comes back in or not. I just think there's a few guys. It's just a crowded midfield, and it has been for a couple of years. I don't think Jagger's going to see the amount of CBAs he did early in the year. So I think he's not going to make that much more cash. I think we can go early and trade him out. He's 600k. I think we can cash out. Lombard, yep, he may start bleeding a bit of cash as well. He just hasn't looked like scoring much more than 40 last few weeks. So, yep, he can go. Jakes can go as well. What's the role like? He started what? I don't know where he started. He was forward at points. He was on the wing. He was in defence. Role was all over the shop. He's made a heap of cash. He's been a great pick. But break-in 47, I just think he's a trade. And the run isn't too flash moving forward. Like Sydney, Freo, Port Adelaide isn't a great next 3. So, yeah, I think I'd be trading Jakes. Sam Grill. A lot of people are tossing up Jagger, Jakes, Grill of the 3. Who would you keep? I think I was originally saying I'd probably trade Grill, but just because of the fact that he's only had one score over 74. That was round 1. Besides, that hasn't done a huge amount. I do, however, though, think that he's got a pretty nice run the next few weeks. Like Melbourne, West Coast next 2 is pretty good. Defender mid could be quite valuable in terms of flexibility. And the fact that Banks is now out for a while, he could move back to halfback and take the Sam Banks role. And I think he could put up some solid scores. So if you're choosing between the 3, I think I'd hold Grill. But again, break into 48. Don't think he's got that much more cash to make unless he pops a big score like an 80, 90 plus score. So I'm happy to trade. So I think Grill can go. What are you up to? That's so Bont's 9th most trade out player. I'm just not trading Bont. Like, I know he's got knee concern. He could get tagged this week. Could be a low score. Maybe do you loot? Maybe to have a look. 'Cause he plays the first game of the round. I just think that, unless he was to miss this week, if he missed this week, you could trade, because I want to trade him out. I'll get him back when he drops in price. But if he plays, I'd be holding, because he's going to be a target for everyone in a couple of weeks' time when he drops in price. So you save a trade by holding him. He dropped 82k last week. You already lost a fair bit of money. I'll just go keep him, hope he turns it around, which I think he will. Like, Bont's too good of a player to be as bad. Like 28 was just, ridiculously low. I didn't think he could go that low, so I would be holding him and just doing trades around him, I think. So what are we up to? We're up to the 10th most traded out player, which is Jack Watkins. So you see the bit of a drop off, so the sort of over the 3,000 for the first 9, then obviously Watkins at 10. He's not in the team. I'm not sure if he works his way back in. He's made a bit of cash. I think he can go, and he's not even going to be a handy loot, because he's going to be probably a purple dot most games, because he's probably going to be an emergency. So he can go. Blackerson can go, unless you got Vicentini. Maybe put Blackerson at R3, trade Vicentini, get the extra cash from Vicentini. But yeah, Blackerson can go. Break evens at 49. He hasn't scored much more in that many weeks. He's dropping cash, so he can go. Sam Darcy, obviously, it's sad that he's out for the rest of the year with the ACL, but obviously he's got to go, unfortunately. It's sad when these star players do, well, any player goes down for that matter, but particularly when these stars go down, it does sort of hit a bit different, not in a good way. It sucks for Sam Darcy for sure, and for the Dogs. Zorko, I think I'm still trading. He's 1 to 2 weeks away. Again, if you can do trades around him, and if you've still got a lot of money in the bank, you could hold. But I still think we've seen with McCluggage, right? Comes back 56% game time, week after 65% game time, I think it was. I think Zorko's going to be managed back, and I think he misses 2 weeks, because they go the Crows this week, which, okay, he could come back next week, but they've got the Bombers. So I think he misses that week, and he comes back against Carlton, and it could be managed in that game, then maybe a bit better against Geelong. Break-in's really high. We'll probably get him close to $1 million, if not below, if you want to bring him back in. So I think I'd be trading, depending on how many other issues you've got. And then outside top 10, obviously Jack Carroll can go. He's made his, what did he score last week? 54, made another 13k, but break-in's at 39. I traded a couple weeks ago and I was fine doing it. He's got a pretty good run coming up, but I think I'm still happy trading. Josh Sarong, I'd be holding him. Break-even still at 35. I wouldn't be trading him. I'd be holding there. McAndrew, I'd be holding as well. I think a few people have tossed up, could you go to Grundy? I think you could definitely go to Grundy this week. I think that's a fine trade, just over 300k to make that. I think there was a few rumours going around that McAndrew could be rested. I haven't seen too much about it, so I think he plays, but again, who knows. Fonte suspended for the weekend. He's made his cash, so he can go. De Koning, I'd be trading. I'd be getting out of that. Quick Smart, I'd be trying to move him on. Could you do a side swap to Ryan Marshall? Put him in the forward line if you think he's going to go much better. I'd be going to Brady Grundy. He's, for me, the obvious one. Because you probably got McAndrew and TDK and Field. I'd be going for Grundy. And it's 300k upgrade. I'd be doing that move. So, yep. Lock those trades in. All right, let's go to the most popular trades of the week and see what the most popular moves coaches are making this week. Once it loads for us, we can see what people are doing. I do like just having a look at this and seeing what the most popular trades are. So, the most popular trades of the week. So, Myers to Petrarca is the most popular trade. Obviously, that makes a lot of sense, and I certainly like that trade. Tick that off. Windsor to Anderson. Yep, get that cash. Like that move as well. Probably a pretty good pairing of trades, to be fair. Probably banks a bit of cash, and you get a couple of good players in. Devrov to Anderson. Yep, something I'm considering doing this week. Jagger to Anderson. Also saying I'm considering this week, because Anderson will be probably coming in for me. Jagger to Rechko. Probably very popular for those that have already got Anderson. I like that. Myers to Cozzy, yet really like that as well. Burdick to Petrarca, Devrod to Petrarca, yet like those two as well. Windsor to Rechko, and Bont to Baz is another one. So don't know if I love that as much. Like Baz, great, but I just think I just don't know if I'd trade Bont unless it was talk that he was going to miss multiple weeks. I'd probably just hold, but Baz is tempting for a lot of coaches there. Like, you're looking at a player that's over $1 million, not too far away to get a Baz. A few coaches are certainly tempted, that's for sure. All right, let's go through my top 5 targets for the week and who I like. So at my number 1 spot, I do have Nasai Wanganeen Millera. And it's more just the fact that his run comes really good. Like, he goes West Coast this week. He then goes Carlton, Gold Coast, Richmond. We mentioned it before. Really good month coming up. I really like him. He is my number one option. At number 2, I do have Angus Anderson, for those that didn't jump on like myself. So minus 30 break even. Still got plenty of cash to make. Look good as well. I think the thing that was important, I didn't mention with Anderson before, is I think he had 1 CBA in each of the first 3 quarters. But in the last quarter when the game was online, he had 5 CBAs. He was only behind Pendlebury and Dacos, which I think is a real positive. He went in there over guys like Ned Long. I know that DeGoey wasn't in there. Sidebottom wasn't in there. Maybe those guys get some CBAs. But he also had some really good moments. He was influential in the second half, and he just didn't have an impact. So I think he'll still get some CBAs there. Plenty of cash. I like him. So he's at my number 2 spot. Coming in at number 3 as my number 3 trading target of the week, I will go with. I think I'll go Nick Newman. I just like Nick Newman play a lot. Like, under 800k, he's priced under 80. I think he goes 90 plus. So there's at least 10 points, 12 points plus upside there. There could be as much as 20 points upside, 25 points if really gets going, gets a lot of these plus 6s. So I really like Nick Newman play. He would be my number 3. Coming at number 4, I'll go Petrarca / Cozzy just because they're so similarly priced. I think one of those forward guys could be, I think they're good options. They're fairly priced, but I do still like them there. Actually, no, hang on. How did I forget? No, Rechko comes in number 4. Sorry, my bad. Rechko comes in number 4. For those that jumped on Angus Anderson, he's the next best rookie. He would be who I would be jumping on. And actually, no, so completely scrap. Like Cozzy, Petrarca, I'd still like them as picks. But I would then, would I slide Zerha in at number 5 as that risky play? I'm just double checking I haven't missed anyone off the top of my head. I don't think I have. I think he's probably next. Actually, no. I'll go Petrarca, Cozzy at number 5. I'll do those guys number 5. Because I'm just assuming everyone's got Murdoch there. So, yeah, Cozzy, Petrarca at number 5. So, yeah, sorry. I've eventually got there. So, Rechko at number 4. Cozzy / Petrarca at number 5 is where I'd be going. So, I do like the Cozzy Petrarca play if you're looking to spend up for a forward. In terms of my trades for this week, pretty straight bat this week. I'm currently going a Jagger Smith down to Angus Anderson at the moment. And then the other trade will be a Lockie Jakes will be going up to Nick Newman. Still got a couple 100k in the bank. I'm looking at targeting guys like Huma Cluggage, Jai Caldwell, maybe a Bont in a couple of weeks' time. And they're dropping cash and they're going to be, I want that couple 100k just to give me the flexibility. I might be able to try like even a Lombard or a Gallup or someone out that. Maybe there might be a week where I can do a couple of sort of sideways shuffles. So, yeah, a lot Newman play. Pretty keen on him. If Grundy wasn't to get it done, potentially my VC, because the captain will come out tomorrow, but he's going to be certainly in the top 5 and will probably be my likely VC. If he wasn't to get it done, I could go Dev Rob out instead of one of Jake's or... wouldn't be Jakes because obviously they play the same game, right? It'd be instead of Jagger, right? So that'd be something I'll be considering. But at the moment, Jagger and Jakes are the 2 that are going for me. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys do with your trades for round 7. I'd be interested to see what moves you guys are doing. If you've got any questions and you do want a guaranteed answer to your trade questions, captain questions, whatever questions you guys have, even a full team review, you can get a guaranteed answer over at our Patreon, patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics. I always try and get to some in the comments if I do have time, but I don't always have the time. So if you do want a guaranteed answer to your question, you can head over to our Patreon. Link is in the description of the video. But as I said, if you can get 200 likes on the video to hit that goal, that would be very much appreciated. So click a like, that'd be fantastic. If you can help us hit 5k subscribers as well, that'd also be very much appreciated. So make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss any content we got. Plenty more content coming throughout the rest of the season. And I think we're nearly at 4,700. So if we can hit that, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for our captain's video. As always, I'm recording the Patreon Q&A as well tonight, so if you want to head over there, you can check that out as well. So I'm recording that tonight. And then our pre-lockout chat, as always, usual time, 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. per time, answering all your questions ahead of Anzac Eve game between Melbourne and Richmond. So looking forward to that one. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Good luck with trades this week, and we'll chat to you guys soon. Catch you then. See ya.